everyone, today's reading is his current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. So I hope you guys are all really well. Thank you to anyone returning. Hello to anyone new. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. It is intuitive, it is general, so some of the messages might not resonate. Just take whatever does, leave what doesn't. If you want a private reading with me, you can check the description box below. It's really easy. You can go onto my website and book on there. You can check out the testimonials. You can find out a bit about me. So feel free. The readings are pretty quick and they are good value too, I like to think. So yeah, check them out if you're interested. This reading today, there's 4 options to choose from. If I were you, and I watch pick a card readings from time to time, and when I do, I always assign different questions to different groups. I would highly recommend this because it means you're getting value for money. You know, I know you haven't paid for this, but you know what I'm saying. You get 4 questions answered instead of 1. Okay guys, let's go ahead with today's reading. Yeah, let's do it. Hi guys, as ever I've forgotten to say, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified of future uploads. Here we go. So what are his current thoughts, intentions and likely actions? Okay, so we've got the 4 of Wands, the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Coins and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so his current thoughts are he's feeling good about the situation with you. So this may be a change for you. It might be that things are turning around, things are changing, things are improving, or it might be that you already know this. But the point is the 4 of Wands is a card of prosperity, it's a card of stability. So there is a real suggestion here that things are good or improving or better than they were perhaps. You know, I do think that there is some element of, even if things are already okay, that things are improving more. Because the 8 of Cups is a card of moving from something that's less than ideal towards something better. So I do think that, you know, this 4 of Wands and the 8 of Cups is really positive. What it's saying is he's focused at the minute on positivity, on prosperity. The 4 of Wands is kind of like taking things, well, it's enjoying the creative effort of the 3 of Wands. So it's kind of taking things to the next level, but the kind of action stage has already happened, you know, with the 3 of Wands. So what this can sometimes symbolize is like moving in together, the next layer of commitment. It can sometimes represent marriage. It just means that you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, you know, and this is really key because I think that his thoughts are, you know, how can I enjoy my situation more? How can I enjoy my life more? What can I do? And the 8 of Cups is about focusing on what you really want. It's about, you know, leaving behind limiting patterns or old situations that are less than ideal and moving towards things that are more appropriate for you. It's not always easy because the 8's are all to do with having courage and strength. Courage and strength to leave the past behind and move on and leave a limiting situation. It's not easy because it requires you to go outside your comfort zone. It feels scary, it feels weird, it feels daunting. But look, this is what he's thinking about. He's thinking about what he really wants, how he can make the most of his life and how he can focus on moving forwards. So his intentions and then moving into his likely actions are to look for this 9 of Coins situation. So he's looking to make the most of the situation. The 9 of Coins is about feeling joy, comfort. It's a sense of reaping the rewards of the work. So he feels like, you know, maybe for a long time he's been in a dysfunctional situation or a situation that hasn't given him what he really wants. And now he's wanted to move towards what he truly wants and to make the most of that situation. So he wants to reap the rewards of his of the effort that he's put into relationships in general. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he's putting effort with you. It could be that he's had a series of more negative relationships and now he's sort of hoping that this relationship will be different. But his likely action is the Knight of Swords. This is good because it is a card of action. So if you notice that things have been taking ages to get moving and there's not been a lot of action in your situation, the Knight of Swords is saying things will shift, things will move. He will take action, you know, or this is the likely way. He's likely to take action. Obviously, it's a general reading, so not every single person that will be the case, but things will shift and he wants to take action. The thing with the Knight of Swords is the Knights, particularly the Knight of Swords and Wands, they are youngish energies. They're energies of characters who are still trying to find themselves, still trying to find out what's going on with them. You know, they're still trying to find themselves in the situation. It's early days for them is what I'm trying to say. You know, like they're still trying to find their way. The trouble with the Knight of Swords is that he can get an idea in his head and get really excited about it, charge forwards, only to then realise that perhaps he's overcommitted himself, or he's, you know, basically acted or spoken before he's thought it through clearly. So what I would say is that things are definitely moving in the right direction in terms of him wanting to focus on the positive, focus on moving out of that negative pattern and really living in the moment and enjoying what is on offer in this situation. But what I do think is he may get an idea of how to do this and then overly commit, you know, like come rushing towards you or make some sort of move only to kind of backtrack a little because, you know, he hasn't really thought it through properly. So just be aware that there could be some movement forwards, but there may be a little step back as well. But generally, things are moving in a good direction. Loads of love, number ones. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. I will see you on the next reading in a few days or a private reading in the meantime. Loads of love and I'll see you soon. Hi group 2, how are you doing? I hope you're great. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, guys. So, his current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. We've got the Ace of Wands, the Magician, the Five of Swords and the Justice card. Okay, so his current thoughts and intentions, he's definitely having some sort of aha. We've got the Ace of Wands and the Magician. They're both aces. They're both very powerful aces as well. So what this is telling me is that he's having some sort of realization, some sort of epiphany that is helping him to kind of wake up to his true self. So this is a continual evolving process. You know, we don't just kind of wake up to our authentic self one day and then stay that way forever. The concept of authentic self can be slightly misleading because it gives you a sense of a finished state. It gives an impression of a finished state, which isn't really true. It's like an ever unfolding story. However, at all the different points of the story, we can be our most authentic self or our least authentic self. And something is going on with him that is making him, at the point he is at, really step into his most authentic self at this stage. Okay? So he's kind of having some sort of inspiration. Something has piqued his interest. Something has made him kind of realize something about the way he's been going about something. So he's either been in an old relationship or he's approaching you in a certain way that isn't working. There's something going on that he's been involved in for quite a while that is not working, that is not right for him, or his way of approaching it has not been working. And what he needs to do is stop trying to get there from there. You know, the Five of Swords, I will come back to this. The Five of Swords is a card of you can't get there from there. It's not going to work like that. You've got to move on from that idea and move towards what's right for you. And the suggestion is that the situation he was in was a no-win situation. Neither side was winning. He wasn't getting anywhere through doing things the way he was doing it. You know, and there was this sense of like just hitting his head against a wall, as we say here. You know, this sense of, you know, banging your head against a wall. You just, you know, you can't get anywhere. And it's just frustrating. And so this is where he's been for a while. But he's having some sort of revelation that helps him to wake up to how to move forwards. You know, and that is what he's trying to do now. The Magician says he's really starting to understand his ability to manifest the situation he wants. You know, that he's more powerful than he perhaps realized, and that he can really step into this power and start to consider how he can manifest the situation that he wants. So he's starting to pay more attention to all the different possibilities. He's starting to pay attention to all the ways that he can move forward. So his thoughts and intentions are very new, very sort of, he's looking for new beginnings. He's excited about investigating new ideas, you know, so something has shifted in him recently. His intentions are to kind of give up on this situation. Now the 5, I just paused then because I was just checking in with the guides, because the 5 of Swords doesn't say you are moving on from a situation that isn't working. It's a suggestion to. So often the 5 of Swords will have like a lack feeling. It feels like you can't get anywhere. It feels like you can't win, etc., etc. But with these other cards, what it's telling me is he's recognized that he's not getting anywhere. He's recognized it's not working for him. He's recognized he's woken up to something. Something has dropped into place. So he's had some sort of realization or aha. That's what the Ace of Wands is about. It's a mini awakening, a mini enlightenment that's given him like the key to taking action and manifestation. It's made him realize that one of the ways, or some of the ways he was approaching the situation, weren't working, and he now understands why. What this can do is justice. It brings about logical action. It brings about like matter of fact realization about, essentially, like it can represent rules, and it's like there's a certain way that things can unfold. It was like he was just doing it the wrong way. He's like woken up to the right thing and how he can move forward. It's like balance has been brought back into the situation, and it's like I say, it's like he's worked out the rules of the game. It's not a game. I'm just using that as a sort of example of how this has occurred to him. It's like, oh, that's how it works. That's what I need to do. And so now he's moving forwards based on this kind of understanding of how things unfold. So he is likely to take some action. He's walking away from a situation or a mindset or a way of dealing with things that aren't working for him. And he's looking at, how can I take the right action? How can I move forward sensibly? How can I take action that, you know, will make sense to me, to her? You know, how can I do the right thing? How can I, you know, make mature, sensible steps that are good for everybody involved? So he is looking to take some action, but first of all, he needs to walk away from that old situation or that old way of doing things and get himself in balance. And it's not necessarily walking away from a relationship. It can be just changing a mindset, changing a way of doing things, you know, and that's what's going on at this time. That's his current action. So it's not, most of you, it's not actually towards you, it's more within himself. But it is bringing about balance, the right thing, and ultimately this will be very good for everybody involved. So loads of love, number 2s. I hope this makes sense. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, or you won't be notified. I'll see you on a private reading or on the next reading in a couple of days. Loads of love, guys. Hi, group 3. Okay, his current thoughts, intentions, and likely actions. We've got the Moon, we've got the 5 of Cups, we've got the 5 of Wands, and the Fountain. Okay, so his current thoughts, intentions, and likely actions. Okay, guys, he is feeling stressed out, man, really. The Moon, the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Wands. The double 5 in the middle is lack, loss, living in the past, low vibe people, getting caught up in low vibe energies. The Moon is the hidden. It's also facing your fears. It's also facing up to your shadow. There's a whole lot of negativity going on, but it's not bad. You know, I know sometimes it's frustrating because we want to be able to experience the positive all the time, but the reality is that, you know, in this duality that we live in, you know, sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. The reality is he is not in a good place at the minute. And there's not really any way to dress it up. So at the minute, his current thoughts are pretty shadowy and kind of negative. He's stuck in the past, etc. I will go back and I will go over these 3 cards in a minute. But what I do want to say is that this won't last forever. You know, like the constant evolving and revolving wheel. This too shall pass, and he will come into a state of equilibrium and balance. This is the Fountain card. This is the last card in the Major Arcana in the Fountain Tarot deck. It's only in this deck. It basically is a card that has been made specially for the Fountain Tarot. It's called the Fountain. It's got the infinity symbol. And what it basically means is isness, beingness, stillness. The totality is how I interpret it. So it's a card of equilibrium. So equilibrium will be, and peace will be restored to the situation with him. However, this is also in the position of action. His likely actions are not any at the moment, I don't feel, on the whole. Now, obviously there will be exceptions, and maybe you're the exception. But on the whole, he's not taking action around this time, the next week or so. Or not towards you, because he's so caught up in this low vibe. Now, it's not bad, because it's helping him to see what he doesn't want. See where the contrasting experience. He's getting to see and feel those old wounds, those old situations. But there is some element that he needs to kind of feel it for the last time and then move on. And I think that at the moment, he's just not really getting that. He could be in a kind of a bit of a depressed state, you know, feeling a bit down. The moon says that all is not quite as it seems. So that's going to mean different things for different people. It might be that he seems pretty jolly, but actually under the surface he's not. Or that he seems like he's not bothered. Or that there are other reasons why he's maybe not taking action or not seeming interested. But actually he's got some kind of fearful energy going on underneath the surface. There's definitely things you don't see. I don't mean there's anything for you to worry about. I just think that there's more aggravation and stress going on than you perhaps realise. The moon is saying as well that this is an opportunity for him to face his fears. He is feeling quite afraid. He's feeling like there are certain aspects of the situation regarding you and what's going on around you that makes him feel triggered, that makes him feel worried, that makes him feel insecure. It makes him face things that he don't want to face. It makes him recognize things about himself that maybe he doesn't like or he felt was not acceptable, you know. So it's triggering him. Basically, it's triggering him. It's something to do with an old wound. This could be a childhood wound. It could be an old breakup. But, you know, it's the fear is still like lodged in this Five of Cups energy. And this is kind of crying over the past, being overly preoccupied with something that has already been and gone. You know, and the sort of thing with this card is the crying over spilled milk. You know, it's like all is not lost, but the person on this card doesn't see the 2 cups. They only see the 3 spilled cups and they're lamenting the loss. You know, so it's like he doesn't have a good perspective at the minute. So his thoughts and intentions are not amazing, but that's not going to last forever. Like I said, this too shall pass. It's just that he's kind of preoccupied with the past because something about the situation with you is triggering his fear. He's also surrounded by a low vibe situation. This could be a work situation or just people around him. But the 5 of Wands is kind of this slightly argumentative energy. It's not always negative because it's sometimes that kind of slight friction and clash causes creative awareness, etc. and brings about problem solving to a situation. But with all this other energy, that's not what I feel at all. It's with this 5 of Wands here, it's that, you know, there are people and situations around him that are low vibe, that are killing his buzz, basically. You know, they're making him kind of more fearful, etc. And of course, if you're fearful, you are then a magnet for other people who are low vibe. So he's kind of in a bit of a cycle at the minute, but this will change and this will shift. Loads of love, number 3s. I will see you on the next reading in a few days or on a private reading in the meantime. Hi, group 4. So, his current thoughts, intentions, and likely actions. Thoughts, intentions, and likely actions. Yes. 3 of Coins, King of Swords, Knight of Wands, and the Lovers. Okay, so his current thoughts are that he's on the right track with the 3 of Coins. It's early days with him. You know, it's early days with him. And if you're saying, Kat, it's not early days, this has been going on for years. Well, I don't mean in linear time. I mean in terms of his progress. It's early days. The 3 of Coins is saying he's very much still the apprentice. He's still trying to learn the ropes. He's still not entirely sure about what he's doing. you know, emotionally, I think, because they're saying, look, King of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Lovers, what they're saying here is that in terms of being connected to his heart and soul, emotionally, he's kind of still on the learning path, but it can be a bit deceptive because he's got this King of Swords energy. So he's got this kind of business-like, matter-of-fact, strong, really intelligent, really clued up, really with it personality, and he's kind of got an air of authority around him, which can give you the impression that he, you know, his thoughts and his impressions and his feelings and how he's acting is all like he's really got it together. And he has, in the sort of rational, practical aspects of life, he is very together. But regarding you, romance and that sort of thing, he's very much still learning. But the Three of Coins says he is on the right track here. He is learning. He has reached the sort of first significant marker. He's kind of on his way. Okay, but his thoughts at the minute and his intentions are still kind of detached. He's not fully engaged in the situation with you. He's still kind of trying to find his way. There's an absence, there's a distance. You'll have felt this already. You know, that sort of sense of detachment. The Knight of Wands, though, is saying that, you know, he's kind of connecting more with his passion. He is connecting more with how he really feels, but it kind of comes and goes, which you can feel that. He comes towards you, he goes away. The Knight of Wands is an energy of the lover who doesn't stick around. And I think that this is a work in progress with him. There's something about the romantic or love situation that he's kind of trying to find his way. He's kind of new to the situation. He's learning the ropes. There's something about your relationship that's unique or different, and he's trying to find his way. He's on the right path, but it is new to him. The Lovers indicates that this is a soulmate connection, or soul connection as I call it. You know, there is divine love here. This is teaching him. Your connection is teaching him something, and it's teaching you something. He's trying to find his way. He is moving in the right direction, but I think he will come and go a bit. You know, literally or energetically, you'll feel that coming towards going away, and then there'll be some coolness, some even coldness at times, or a sense of detachment. So it is quite confusing for you, but it's because he's trying to learn this way of listening to his heart and soul, connecting with his truth, being authentic, being honest. That's what the Lovers is about. He's at a choice point where he can say, I'm going to go this way and be my authentic, honest self, or I can stay in this kind of clinical, more up in my head, practical self. Which way am I going to go? He's heading towards the Lovers. He's heading towards authenticity, stripping bare metaphorically, and really being his true self and noticing what he believes in, what he really wants, and going in that direction. But it is early days for him. It's going to take a little bit more time. So he may come towards you, but I think there'll be a bit more backwards and forwards, and it will be a little bit confusing for a while, but it's because he's trying to find his way. Loads of love, guys. I hope this makes sense. I will see you on the next reading in a few days, or on a private reading in the meantime. Loads of love to you, and thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. See you soon, guys.